To order, and I want to acknowledge and welcome everybody. Thanks for coming, everybody, and I really, sorry, go ahead, Wendy.
No, I'm not seeing the live yet, so
Kent just told me it was okay to start, but I'll wait for,
give me like a second here.
sure, you let me know. Give me the thumbs up whenever we're ready to go, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right, good. Okay, as I said, the meeting, call the meeting to order. Acknowledge the land upon which we gather is the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq, and we want to pay our respects to the indigenous Mi'kmaq people of this area, past, present, and future. Next item on the agenda is a declaration of conflict of interest. Does anyone around the table have any conflict of interest with anything we're going to be dealing here with tonight? If not, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. The agenda is before you. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes to the order or anything like that that anyone would like to propose with regards to the agenda?
I just wanted to advise, I had sent an email last week to say that I'd be leaving by 6:30.
Yes.
So I don't know if that changes anything. I know oftentimes my reports are
I
down
think we
further,
should-
but we'll just keep things going as is.
We don't have any resolutions tonight that I could see, so I think we should.
We do a resolution appointing council members as well as,
Oh, okay, I missed that. I took a,
many members.
I must have skipped over that one. Okay, sorry.
Anyway,
Okay, but
We'll
we don't
just-
have any contentious items, I guess you might say, tonight. Hopefully. You never know, though. Okay. Yeah, so if I could have, with that note of Councillor Chandler's, we'll be leaving at 6:30. Any changes to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda. So moved. Councillor McDonald. Seconded, Deputy Mayor Gallant. Thank you. All right, the minutes of our last monthly meeting are in your package, meeting of January 14th, 2026. Any additions, deletions, or changes to those minutes that anyone would like to propose? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of those minutes. Thank you, Councillor Cox. Second? Second by Councillor McDonald. Thank you. Okay, any presentations from the floor, Jeremy? No? My report is in your package, just a couple of highlights. It was a busy, wasn't as busy as some Januaries, but we did have a fair bit going on. One of the big things, of course, was the federal announcement announcing $10 million towards our new wellness center, and by our Member of Parliament, Kent MacDonald, and I was really pleased to be part of that event and have an opportunity to say a few words. I think it's money that's welcomed, and it allows us to get things started. However, we are anticipating and hoping for more federal funding as well as a federal, provincial funding as well. So when those two components are in place, we'll be able to complete the badly needed wellness center, community wellness center, which will create some of the needed infrastructure, recreational infrastructure for our town. I participated in a meeting of the Provincial Immigration Partnership Council talking about with the changes to legislation, provincial legislation with regard, and federal legislation with regard to immigration, the impacts on the province and on municipalities within the province. So it was a bit of a workshop. It was a bit of a presentation of information, but there was a good opportunity for discussion and to really evaluate and have an idea of the impact and what it means going forward for our town, the changes in the immigration numbers. Yeah, I guess everything else is fairly straightforward. We met with the two candidates vying for the, I guess it was the premiership actually, for the leadership of the Progressive Conservative Party here on PEI. We met with Rob Lance and with Mark Ledwell, and very very good meetings with both of them, and really had an opportunity to outline Stratford's priorities, Stratford's issues, and some of the challenges we have with regard to the infrastructure deficit and the need for partnership on shared priorities. Yeah, we're now starting the budget process. We had a first budget meeting this month. We had good presentation of a proposed draft budget information from staff, and council had the opportunity to discuss and to ask questions and to really communicate our priorities to staff so that the next version will reflect that. There was a really successful Stratford Business Mixer, took place on February 4th, well attended by Stratford businesses. I want to thank each councillor who went out and distributed flyers to make people aware of this. Also, the next business meeting is coming up. I believe, Wendy, it's the 26th or 24th? 19th. The 19th, the February 19th. We're having a meeting with business leaders to discuss how we can help businesses succeed here in Stratford, as well as attract new businesses. Really improve and do the best we can to make the best business environment possible for businesses here. Yeah, this is Black History Month, so we participated in raising a flag to mark the beginning of Black History Month. We're really lucky to have a number of members of the Black community here in our community. They add so much to our town. So I just wanted to make sure that we understand the importance of their contributions. Good meeting with the Crossroads Fire Company to discuss the purchase of the new aerial fire truck and some of the funding issues and possible challenges that come with that. Excuse me. Yeah, and last weekend I attended the Vietnamese Lunar New Year celebrations, and I understand there's a Chinese Cultural Society one coming up on the 21st, as well as one Asian Spring Festival this weekend. So had a good meeting with our MLA, Jill Burridge, to discuss Stratford issues. Mainly we talked about the funding for the new Community Wellness Center. That's my report. Does anybody have any questions or comments with regard to my report? If not, we'll move on to the Chief Administrative Officer report. I'll ask CAO Jeremy Crosby to give his report.
Thank you, Your Worship. My report is in your package. I'll just go over a few highlights. I had a meeting with representatives from Meals on Wheels. They were looking for a place to place a freezer. They don't have a facility right now, so we did find a location here at the town hall to put that freezer here. It's in order for the people delivering the meals to have a place to pick up their meals, so we did find a spot here, and we'd like to be able to help them out. So, attended a meeting with the Community and Business Engagement Manager and representatives from the Native Council, PEI, and Gender-Based Violence Prevention to discuss their programs and initiatives. Good meeting. Participated in a meeting with the Deputy CEO and administrative staff regarding updates to our file management system. We do have a new file management system that was implemented many years ago, but it does need an upgrade, so we're doing that now. As the mayor indicated, attended the funding announcement in the community campus and the wellness facility. It's a key step in the overall implementation of the community campus plans, and we're excited to get going. And our project manager, Carter Livingston, has been working very hard on getting the RFP out, and I'd say within a week or so we'll have that out. Attended an HR meeting to discuss new personnel policy. It's been a while since we had an update on that. And along with infrastructure and recreation staff, attended a meeting to discuss progress of the new waterfront pavilion. So there should be new renderings coming to the next committee of the whole meeting for discussion. And finally, I participated in the annual Chamber of Commerce President's Excellence Awards. Had a pleasure to sit with Wendell Taylor's Garage and their staff from Stratford, and they received the Workplace Excellence Award, so congratulations to those folks. Any questions? I'm willing to answer them.
In the report with respect to the waterfront pavilion, when do we get a start date on that, or?
It's going to start in the spring. We have the new renderings that are coming to you at the next Committee of the Whole meeting.
Okay.
We've kind of finalized what the kitchen layout is going to be, a few changes to some of the doors and entryways, but we'll have color renderings so that you guys will be able to see exactly how the layout of the building will be, and further discussion how the use of the building will be in the future.
That's what, 2 weeks?
I believe so, yeah.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Quick question. When you met with the Cricket Association, are they aware about the move out of T Hill eventually?
We didn't meet with the Cricket Association. We met with several members of the Cricket Association
Okay.
to discuss some association matters. I really wouldn't get into it any further than that, but
Okay.
it was just some of the membership that wanted to discuss some items with us.
Okay. No,
So
just,
we didn't get into discussions about
okay,
moving the
no
facility or
problem.
anything. Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I just, Jeremy, I'd just like to congratulate you with getting the wellness center off the ground there with the great, from the federal government, that great asset there, the $10 million. I know my last term of council, we purchased land there about 6 years ago, and it's a long, tiring process, but looks like we're see at the end here now, so.
Well, I appreciate the thanks, but I've had a lot of help with that, and
Yeah.
Jeremy Pierce.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And all the infrastructure staff. There's been a lot of people involved, and a lot of people before me that were involved in that project. So
Yeah.
we're really happy to see it get started. And like I said, there's a very detailed RFP going out here very quickly, so we can get that back and get the architectural drawings to council, and
Yeah, we're,
hopefully before spring. Or, sorry,
yeah, we're just,
but by the end of the summer, I believe it is.
yeah, we're looking to have the twin pad there and an indoor turf field, and, you know, might add to this, we're probably, I don't know, we're only probably one of the communities in PEI that doesn't have a facility, a rink facility for our residents and children, so, but it's great to see if we get the twin pads off, and then we have 2 in Pownell, and we can use those 4 rinks, and something we talked about earlier, about sports tourism and so on, and because the need's out there, and everybody benefits from that sale, sir.
Yeah, and in addition to that, you know, library, cultural facility, youth center, and, you know, some
Yeah.
extra meeting space. It's going to be a real community gathering place for everybody once it's completed, for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeremy. Okay, next item on our agenda is safety services, and I'm going to ask Councillor Ron Dowling to give his report. However, before I do that, I neglected to welcome Corporal Matt Painter to our meeting tonight. Thank you for coming. And I also wanted to draw people's attention to the fact that there was a very terrible tragedy that took place in British Columbia yesterday, and I think municipalities across the country are just reeling from this terrible news, and I just thought we should take a moment to just remember those and really hope that give our deepest condolences to the families and friends of all those involved, because it's a terrible thing for a community to have to experience. So with that, I'll just ask you to have a moment of silence. Thank you. We will be putting the flag at half-mast tomorrow, as most municipalities across the country are doing. And again, it's just a terrible thing for a community to have to experience that level of tragedy. I also wanted to, and I'll do this later. Okay, no, go ahead. I'll just ask or Councillor Ron Dowling to give his report at this time.
Thank you, Your Worship. A Safety Services Committee's regular monthly meeting was held on January 19th, 2026. The unapproved minutes have been circulated to council members through the monthly package. And I'll entertain any questions any members of council might have in relation to those minutes.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah, it may as well come into the minutes, Counselor. So, you know, in reviewing the minutes, I noted that there had been some interest or expressed or some, a request, I guess, for a potential crosswalk at, Bunbury Mason Road, which I completely and utterly endorse, don't get me wrong, but all I'll say is that just for the purposes of the Safety Services Committee, the councillors in Ward 2 for a very long time have been advocating for some form of a crosswalk along the stretch of the Stratford Road south of the Blue Church, and we've been asking that for some time. So I'll ask you, and I don't mind sending an email as well, to bring that up to Safety Services, because that's been something that's been advocated for a long time. I absolutely don't doubt that that intersection in question, the Bunbury Mason Road, deserves one as well. Yep. But certainly, the citizens of Ward 2 have been asking for some form of a conveyance to get them from their neighborhoods towards the sidewalk on the Stratford Road. So I'll just ask you to keep, and your committee, to keep that
Sure.
top of mind.
And just as a point of note, when that was raised as a request for this particular site, there is an existing crosswalk, and it was for overhead beacons in order for people to be able to push the light as opposed to using the flags that is currently done. So a director has undertaken to contact the province to see, to put in a request for that. So certainly, if that hasn't already been done for the intersection in question, then perhaps Director Woodard can also contact the province, but send me an email by all means, and copy it to Director Woodard, and we'll get an update to see what has been done by way of request to the province, if anything. And if not, then we'll undertake to have the province contacted to see what their intention is in relation to that intersection. Because you're right, it is an intersection that requires a safe crosswalk, no question.
Can I just, add on to that, because I do fully support Councillor MacDonald's concerns, and to put it in perspective, on that Stratford Road, I think there's a crosswalk just before Marion Drive, and I don't think there's another crosswalk until Kinloch Beach. So that's probably 2.5 or 3 kilometers, close to, that there's no crosswalk. So and people still walk across. So yeah, if we could get some attention. And when we brought up before, it's been cited that because there's not a landing, there's not a sidewalk to a sidewalk, that does not meet the criteria. But it's not really a satisfactory answer anymore. Perhaps we should look for solutions to bring something that we can attach both those sides so kids and people can cross safely.
Excuse me. Yeah, as I say, I'm not sure what has been done as far as any request to the province to address that over and above that initial contact where they, as you say, it indicated that one can't be put in there due to the current construct, but, maybe that has to be, well, no doubt it has to be readdressed with the province, and perhaps we can get something there. I'm not sure whether the CAO has any insight in relation to that. I know Director Woodard would have, were she able to be here this evening. But
I personally think we should, I know Jeff's concerns there and Jill's, but I personally think we should try to get rid of the flags and go to the beacon lights, maybe do 2 or 3 a year, talk to the province that way and sort of because the flags are,
The lights are very effective, yeah.
What?
The lights are very effective.
Yeah,
They
the
certainly
lights
take
are
your-
very effective,
They take
especially
your
when it's
attention.
dark and foggy and rainy and stuff like that, because as I know, that's like a lot of people, they talk about Bunbury Mason, they're talking about approaching and nobody's seen the flags and so on, so it'd be nice to, as a council, talk to Jeremy and Jeannie and just try to sort of piggyback and go from you know, say, two or three crosswalks a year or something for, you know, talk to the Minister of Transportation, Mr. Hudson.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's a strategy that we can discuss with Director Woodard.
Yeah.
No, we can certainly do that, but it has to be brought up well in advance of their budget or our budget. I wouldn't want to see us getting into paying for them, but we may have to do that, right, if we want to have so many per year. But they have been converting a lot of them over. I know with the other Stratford Road, it has been discussed before, but as was already indicated, if there's not a landing on the other side of the road or a sidewalk, Department of Transportation, due to tax standards, I'm just repeating what I've heard before, but it's not to say that we couldn't put some type of landing over there in certain areas so people could get across. So we can certainly revisit that.
And I do feel that we had brought up the idea of an active transportation or a sidewalk on Rosebank, and that's been a line item for a long time, but that would also provide a solution to that, as it would be the landing.
So we're referring to Kepik Road as well, right?
Kepik, Stratford, like,
Yeah.
where it turns into, it's just like, it's literally, like, there's nowhere, like, once you're past Marion Drive, there's no pedestrian, there's no safe guided pedestrian
Yeah,
crosswalk.
If we're referring to Kepik along that area, I do think there is some headway being made. I thought you were referring to Stratford, the continuation of the Stratford Road up towards Georgetown Road, but
Yeah, I think there's
Okay.
three locations we're talking about.
so
My
I know,
apologies.
I know on Kepik, in those locations, there has been some headway made, and I think there, maybe at Glen Cove, there was a discussion about something going across there, so I can get Director Woodward to follow up on that.
Yeah, I think this is one of those issues that falls between Safety Services and Infrastructure Committee
Correct.
and the province. And we may need to get our ducks in a row with regard to what the Safety Services recommendation is, what the Infrastructure Committee suggests with regard to sidewalks or landing pads or whatever they're called, and the provincial situation. Yeah, because I probably should have discussed this when I met with MLA Burridge yesterday, but, or on Monday, but I'll discuss it with her next time I meet. But it's also, obviously, we need to get provincial public servant, you know, at the bureaucratic level involved as well.
Yeah, like I said, I'll talk to the director when they return from vacation, but I'm sure there's already been some headway made on some of these items, so we can report back on the next council meeting on those.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions in relation to the unapproved minutes? Okay. I will make note that we are making headway in relation to the e-watch. That's been a project of Deputy Mayor Glantz and Councillor Jackson's for quite some time. The pamphlets have been formalized, and I believe they've gone to print. Okay. And so we will be you know, approaching various businesses and asking that they come on board as varying level of sponsors, ranging, I think, 7,000 for gold, 3,500 for silver. Let me double check here. Yeah. And then anything less than 3,500 to be like a bronze sponsor. And the idea being that the RCMP have, are in process of identifying priority areas where the cameras ought to be placed as we are able to finance them. And after which, then other cameras will be added in the ensuing years in order to bring us to a very broad-based coverage within the community, which would be very beneficial to police and their investigations and such. So that's well underway, and I know Councillor Glant, you must be pleased to see that coming to fruition. We're not there yet. We have 7 cameras in, and hopefully in the next few years we'll double or triple that. Yeah.
It's, what I can add to it, it's great support from the superintendent and the police departments. It's, and the members of our detachment orders, great support. It's just a no-brainer, and it's a tool for them, and then it's good public safety for the businesses too, together, right?
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, your worship, there's nothing in relation to street light report. We'll just make a quick note in relation to Strawberry Hill lanterns. The bulbs are being replaced to LED, so if people see some variance in bulbs during that process, then that's what it is. They're all being switched over to LED. And later on, they'll focus more on the infrastructure itself. But right now, I believe they're just doing the bulbs in order to resolve a problem that they've had with bulbs turning on and off. But otherwise, there's nothing on the books for additional, or had been brought to committee for additional requests for lighting. So we'll move on then to item C. The RCMP have several reports that they've submitted to Mayor and Council, and I'll call Corporal Painter forward if he'd be good enough to come up and kind of go over those for us.
All right. So during the month of January, Stratford RCMP recorded 332 occurrences, with 315 of those founded and still under investigation. These stats are higher than last month's 278 occurrences and on par with January 2025 occurrences. We had 178 occurrences related to traffic enforcement, making up for 56% of our monthly occurrences. We issued 53 summary offense tickets and 70 warnings during the month. We had one drive while disqualified occurrence, one flight from police occurrence, and one drive while prohibited occurrence. During the month, we had 4 reported break and enters, 2 of those being related to the same address, which led to charges. We had 11 reported theft of fuel occurrences during the month, which were all unfounded. 22 step files in various parts of Stratford, and 3 check stops. And you probably saw this in the media here, but to note, the Joint Enforcement Team, known as the JET team, conducted a targeted traffic stop, which resulted in 2 men being arrested and police seizing a significant number of drugs. 2 ounces of fentanyl, an ounce of crystal meth, and a half an ounce of cocaine. 1 subject was charged for trafficking fentanyl, possession for the purpose of trafficking fentanyl, possession of the purpose for trafficking cocaine, possession for the purpose of trafficking crystal meth, failing to comply with a probation order, and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So.
Pretty active month.
What's that?
Pretty active month.
We had an active month, and for most of the month, we were in our block training for a week at a time, so we were quite short-handed this month throughout the whole Queens district, with a couple of people being away at a time. So, but yeah, calls are up a little bit. Things are not slowing down. So.
No. Do we have 7 members in service right now?
We have 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 8.
8. Yeah.
Yes.
Just with that targeted CDSA arrest, is there, and if you can't comment, that's fine, but just from a public safety perspective, is that linked to suspected activity here in Stratford, or it just happened to be where the arrest was affected?
I'm not sure how much I can really comment on that because it's not our investigation. So I don't want to say too much. But it's, yeah, it was a targeted stop, so they knew who they were looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Sorry.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and just in terms of the intersection violations, is there anywhere in particular that was noted to be a problem, or just
Yes,
all over, or what's the story there?
The spot that we talked about a little bit at the Safety Services meeting here last month. So we've put a lot of time into the new intersection right by the SO Robbins. A lot of people are not following the roads how they're supposed to. When you leave the SO, they're just doing that first shortcut, pulling a U-turn instead of going up to the roundabout and coming around. So that's something that us and the traffic section have enforced. Over the last couple of months here, tried to do the educational approach first, just to give people, some people are just in a rush and they want to get going, right? And some people don't know. So that's been our main area
Yep.
of targeting that, I guess.
Just got one little quick thing here. That was great that, although it was a little bit higher than occurrences at 113, it was way down from last year at 199. So that was nice to see that that's come down for this time of year. And the fact that of all the occurrences, only 2 were impaired drivers. And I like the fact too that the 2 people that were charged or impaired all came from tips from other people driving vehicles.
Yes, yeah.
And it just shows that, you know, if you're out on the road and you see something, it just takes a second for you to pull over and to call 911 and say, you know, I know I've done that before also. It's just, you know, sometimes police can't be everywhere, so sometimes without putting yourself at risk, but just pull over and let the police know most information if you have, like the color of the car or type of car or something, and the time, and a lot of times it pans out, right, so.
Yeah, exactly, you're right. I mean, we need the public's help to do a lot of the stuff we do, right? It helps everybody at the end of the day, you know, us, the public, the communities that we're policing. So, yeah, the public's a huge piece of what we do, for sure.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Corporal. I think that one of the things that I think the recent tragedy in Tumble Ridge points out is it's really mental health is a big priority, and I know it probably creates a lot of issues in policing because your hands are fairly tightly tied with regard to what you can do, even if you do see that somebody might be a potential risk to society.
Everybody has rights.
Yeah, and that's the balance, between individual rights and the protection of society. And unfortunately, I guess I'm just thinking out loud here. Is there anything you can think of that a community can do to, at least highlight when there is a person that might be at risk or, of perpetrating something like that?
It's, I mean, we get a lot of support. The province is trying to do what they can do, right? With the mobile mental health unit, we work a lot with those people and paramedics. But yeah, it's you're right. I was just trying to look up quickly there while you were talking to see how many mental health calls we had last month. But
You had 14 wellness checks.
14, okay.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that's probably a pretty common number month to month. Like that's probably pretty accurate. Sometimes in the summer we'll see a little more with what we've seen previously, like at the bridge, right? A lot of people having those thoughts, and some of it's addiction related. It's
So the taking the drugs off the street is a big part of that, I suppose. That's
absolutely.
a big part of it. So really appreciate everything you're doing. So keep it up. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. Thank you very much. One quick note too, I looked into last month, you talked about the collisions in Stratford, and so they're pretty consistent from last year. Our numbers are slightly higher there. If I can look at it really quick, I took a picture. December 2024, we had 10. This year we had 15. November 2024, we had 8. This year we had 12. October 2024, we had 10. This year we had 11. So like we have had a few more, I guess, over these last few months. And I would say in the 90 percentile, it would be driver inattention or due to the speeds or slippery roads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather's certainly been worse this year than it was last
Yeah,
year. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
I see, Corporal, 2 drive-offs there for the theft of electric and gas. That's good. That's the first time. 2 is a low. I never saw that
That's,
since I've been counselor. 2 number.
Yeah,
2
that-
reports of drive-offs.
That was actually home furnace oil.
Oh,
Is
okay.
what those were related to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you say there was 11 this month, did you say?
5, I think you said.
5, was it?
Okay, maybe,
For the gas and dash, I think I said 11. Yeah, 11 reported
11,
theft of
okay,
fuel.
sorry.
And then.
And did you
as I
say
said-
that most of them could not
None of them, like all of them were just, their card didn't go through.
Yeah, well, that's good to know.
Like off the top of my head, I would say over the last 3 or 4 months, we've had one, maybe two that were like chargeable.
Yeah.
And in the end, they just wanted no trespass served to them instead of
Right.
the charges, but.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so the majority of them continue to be just errors, and they return and they pay for their fuel, which is
Yeah.
good, so.
And you know, I think like, especially the Cornwall Esso is pretty diligent in posting people that they think are, you know, have sunglasses, black hat on, pulled down when it's 11 o'clock at night, and license plate has a big tape across the back of it. You know, and they're thinking this guy or gal or person is obviously, and they're not looking at the camera, and they leave their hood up when they go in the car, like, you know. But I think for some people, they've been thinking like, I don't want to get caught in that camera, and every gas station now has them. But you're probably right, like 85 or 90% of people, it's just a mistake, right?
Yes.
But it just shows everybody, if you're using your card, take a second, make sure it goes through, right? Saves a lot of your guys' work, because you guys have to follow up on this.
We had the numbers across the island. Steve did it with the RCMP, and the numbers gave the FC and the PEI. I don't know where that's at right now. It's just, it's got to be provincial issue. Lay across, the provincial government's got to set it up so people pay at the pump, not pay at the pumps, yeah, pay at the pumps, and not be able to, you know, go inside and so on. But I'm saying we're talking about it here 6 months ago. We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Something's got to be done. It's a provincial issue, and the provincial government's got to move on it.
Yeah, I went to FPIM in the fall, and I expect there'll be an answer,
Yeah.
a resolution
Yeah.
presented for the board, probably either next meeting or the monthly meeting after that.
Yeah.
So it will be coming, but
Yeah.
it just hasn't been,
You're-
they've only got so many analysts there, so they're
Yeah.
working on it, yeah.
I mean, you're paying $150,000 to $175,000 for a police officer, and they're doing work for business. It's a civil problem, and just taking their time away and from other
Yeah.
important things, right? You know. What happened? Anyway, sorry, I don't know. But anyways, that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and we have seen those numbers decrease, but I mean, it's still an issue.
Yeah.
But I mean, a few months ago, we were into the 20s, right?
Yeah.
Or high teens, so, but that doesn't eliminate that there is still an issue with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions for Corporal Painter?
Oh, just thanks very much.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Corporal.
lot.
Thank you, Corporal.
Thanks.
So move on then, Your Worship, to item D, Humane Society report. That's been attached if anyone has any questions. Pretty standard month with 20 reports, 200, or patrols rather, 209 patrols year to date. Are there any questions in relation to the Humane Society report? There is a license report attached. It's not typical. I don't know if it's just because there was an animal picked up in Stratford and the microchip was used and license was used to locate the owner.
Well, that's great.
So,
No, I just had one issue, Ron, was talking to a couple of residents there in Clearview Estates, sighting of coyotes. I know Wendy might have something. What is the procedure? Do we call the animal, you call Humane Society on issues like this, or what is this? I know they're in the Clearview Estates area. A couple of parents were talking to me about it.
Yeah, so it would not be the Humane Society, it would be the province of PEI through the Department
Okay.
of Wildlife, but they only want to know if the animal is showing aggression or any behaviors that are not normal. If it's normal coyote behavior, they're a common sight and they're not concerned about that and
Okay.
don't need to be called, so
Okay.
only if there's a change
At
in the
least I
behavior.
know that now.
Yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
The one thing to be aware of is they're mating this time of year, and at that time, they're very kind of
Yeah,
more visible and a little more dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think town staff, I think Wendy puts stuff on the website too of sightings, right? Sometimes, yeah. Do the conservation officers put it on or notify the public or anything? Nothing at all?
It's considered normal behavior,
Yeah.
they're part of our wild
Yeah, we are in their area. Yeah, yeah. That's right. Thank you.
Okay, moving on then to item E, Fire Company Report that has been attached to the package. If there's any questions, I'll just point out there were 18 call-outs in the month of January, 12 for Stratford, 2 for Alexandria, 2 for Crossroads, 1 for Vernon River, all of which were within our fire company, and 1 for North River, which would have been a mutual aid call. I guess of general interest, the new ladder truck is in Canada. There's still some fitting to be done in order to paint and that sort of thing in order to get it to where it's ready to be put into operation in a few months' time, but it has been built and has been transported to Canada, so
Great.
it's a big leap.
Just on the cost sharing of the ladder truck. I know we have one zone, Crossroads, and there's other zones, Johnson River, Hazelbrook, or Mermaid. Is there a share there, cost share at all, Jeremy, from the provincial government or those communities?
I think they're looking at a loan opportunity from the provincial government, but I'm not sure what the actual agreement was on that. There are other communities that they've been sent a letter regarding the contribution. I'm not sure if they heard back or not yet.
Yeah. But it's only fair if the other communities share with us the responsibilities, right?
I would agree, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I know our budgets are tight and so on, but at the same time, the province and the community should, I guess, do we get that from the fund there? Get part of it from the fund, for municipality fund there? Do we get that from what's the fund we get from the government? They were behind a couple of years and they got up to date. What's
Housing accelerator.
Revenue sharing?
no, not a house accelerator fund, the.
Revenue sharing.
Revenue
fund.
Yeah,
sharing?
revenue sharing.
Revenue sharing,
Yeah.
we do have some
Yeah.
extra funds that we could use for that.
Well, the other
but
communities have revenue sharing?
Yes, they do, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, so.
But
So if there's-
I know that it's a small amount for some of the
Yeah.
smaller communities, but we're about 80% of the actual budget for the Crossroads Fire Department. So the other 20% comes from the other districts. So I think there's a lot of letters been sent out. I don't know
Okay.
if they've responded or not.
Yeah.
But I would say that certainly they should contribute.
Yeah, are you CC in that letter? Are you on that letter?
No, I
No.
haven't been, but that's what I was told. We did ask
Okay.
the question during our meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any other comments or questions on Councillor Dowling's report? Okay, anything else, Councillor?
No, Your Worship, being no further questions, will complete my report for this month.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now move on to Recreation, Culture, and Events. It's the chair of that committee, Councillor Gordy Cox, to give his report.
Thank you, Mayor. Once again, I do apologize for my computer jumping in there a second ago, but I headed actually the story of Tumbler Ridge up. I was doing some reading before you mentioned it. Just really saddening, and then the story came on, one of the things from that site. But kids, kids, especially elementary age, should be thinking about building a snow fort and going toboggan and stuff, not these kind of things that are taking place still these days. So just thank you for bringing that up, Mayor, and a moment of silence. Recreation, Culture, and Events. The Recreation, Culture, and Events Committee met on January 22nd. Agenda items include the 2026-27 operation and capital budgets for the department, as well as updates on recreation, culture, and youth center programming, along with updates on the community campus and the water park developments. Stratford Community Campus, under that, the town of Stratford is pleased to announce that Stratford Community Campus has received $10 million in federal funding through the Green and Inclusive Community Building Program. I think we talked about that at our last meeting. We're very happy to receive that. And as we stated, before, while this contribution represents only a portion of the overall capital funding required to complete the project, it marks an important and positive step towards making the Stratford Wellness Center a reality. The investment reflects strong federal confidence in the long-term value of our community campus and its role in supporting health, recreation, and sustainability, and also community well-being. The town continues to actively engage with both federal and provincial partners to secure additional funding to advance the next phases of the development. This milestone builds on a project that began in 2018 and has steadily evolved into a cornerstone initiative for Stratford's future. The community campus is envisioned as a major destination for residents and a central hub for local recreation and community programming. Construction of the sports field and active transportation networks is anticipated to be completed and to be opened to the public in the summer, while work on the Wellness Center is expected to begin in the fall of 2026 or 2027 in the spring. Council and staff remain committed to advancing this transformational project in a responsible and collaborative manner for the benefit of current and future generations. Registration for the current season at the youth center are now closed. They're at capacity with 95 youth members and an additional 4 young adults participating on the youth engagement team. So hats off to Dwayne and the staff there, and to also all the youth that have signed up to the youth center. Winterfest preparations are underway for the future Winterfest Fun Fair, scheduled for Sunday, February 15th and Monday the 16th, with plans to engage approximately 50 to 60 youth volunteers to support the event. In addition, the Youth Center Leadership Club will host the Winterfest Flea Market on Saturday, February 4th. Usually that's Councillor Glant's favorite activity, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the Winter Stratford Youth Fest will take place on Sunday, February 15th and Monday, February 16th from 1 to 5 p.m., offering further opportunities for youth engagement and community participation. Artist contracts for the Ferry Trail project are currently being confirmed for spring and summer 2026, with work scheduled to be completed during that period. In addition, a request for proposals, an RFP, will be issued for 2 public mural locations with a submission deadline of February 28th, 2026. So that date is coming forward, and I know Melanie Weatherby's been very busy getting ready for that. A variety of tennis training opportunities continue to be offered through the winter months. Community pickleball program remains at full capacity with 40 participants currently enrolled across 4 groups. 3 groups meet twice a week and 1 group meets once a week. Stratford Minor Baseball will also be launching its indoor training program on Tuesday evenings from 8 p.m. to 9:15 p.m., providing off-season development opportunities for local athletes. The town continues its tradition of grooming selected natural gravel trails during the colder winter months, and including those at Cotton Park and Fullerton Park, while also clearing paved active transportation networks to encourage residents to remain active throughout the winter season. Although fluctuating weather conditions have impacted some scheduled grooming activities, overall trail conditions remain good and continue to support safe and enjoyable use. These ongoing efforts reflect the town's commitment to promoting year-round outdoor recreation and active living opportunities are there for our residents. The outdoor rinks at Pondside Park and Bunbury Park have experiencing ongoing challenges this season due to fluctuating weather conditions, especially in the last 3 weeks, which has continued to impact ice quality and has limited the number of good skating days. Pondside Park, which was consistently open since January 2nd, has also at times been closed to the public due to slushy conditions on the pond and because of the absolute magnitude of snow that has accumulated there. Bunbury Park recently lost its ice service following a period of warmer weather, which is another challenge, and it is closed now. So at least for today, at least it is today. Town staff continue to monitor conditions closely and are working diligently to restore and maintain ice at Bunbury Park. for winter skating, hockey, and ringnet as weather permits. So if the weather does get a little bit better, the Bunbury Park rink will be up and running. And last year, the Atlantic Pickleball Club, I drove by today. It looks fantastic. It's really getting close to its completion. And I had a long talk yesterday with Scott Harris. He stated to me that he's very happy with the progress and with the facility itself, and also with the cooperation he's received from council and the mayor and from the staff here in Stratford. They are hosting a maritime pickleball tournament in April, and I think it's pretty close to being full, and they're pretty excited about that happening. He did have one concern about some false information that's been spread about the club in reference to membership prices. Some people have been going around stating that it's going to be over $100 for everyone, and himself and Adam McQuaid and Jonah McMillan, the three principal owners, have all received calls and had people ask them and talk to them about that, and also the other staff of the club has received that. And he says, you know, it's absolutely false, and he wishes that was, you know, he said there's different tiers, but for seniors especially, he says it starts at $45 a month, and that includes a seniors room, which they have tea and coffee and couches where you can go and relax and play cards, whatever. And also it has a cafe where seniors receive 15% off. He said, we really want to make this a hub. He says, but he's been hearing from even different seniors who are saying that they will never go there because it's out of their price range. And he said that's just too bad when people kind of close their eyes and plug their ears before they actually hear what is the actual price structure. This was enhanced too by a story this wintertime that was on public television, and also by various residents and non-residents who continued to talk without actually getting the right information. In the end of it, he said that he knows it'll work itself out, and once people get a chance to come and tour the facility, and they're getting pretty close now with allowing people to come through. Now that they're getting the safety thumbs up, and looks forward to having people come and tour it themselves and see what it's all about. So it was a nice conversation. By no means is he upset with Stratford or the residents or anybody here. He just had some concerns about what was coming his way, and he said that he's not too worried about it. It's unfortunate that is taking place, because he put all, it's a private entity, and they put a lot of time and money into this being built in Stratford, and it'd be nice if more and more people embraced what they're trying to present here and trying to do for our community. So I hope that continues.
Thank you, Councillor.
And that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor, for your report. I think it should be noted that Councillor Cox has been very active and is one of the main reasons that pickleball operation decided to come to Stratford was because of the efforts of Councillor Cox. So I thank you for that, Councillor. I think it's a great addition to the town, and it's really something that adds another recreational avenue for our opportunity for Stratford residents. Councillor Chandler.
I appreciate that and know that Councillor Cox was an important part of bringing the facility to Stratford. At the same time, I would be doing myself a disservice if I did not express concerns that, as happy as we are to have the pickleball facility here and have that space for residents and non-residents to frequent and support, we are separate from them, and they are a private business. And as such, we, I think, should find the right places and formats to speak about their pricing, et cetera. And I don't think that this is the format.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Okay, any comments or questions on Councillor Cox's report?
Yeah, I think this is the right forum. Public can listen to this online. And I think it may help to change what is some of the information that's out there. So I do think it's proper to tell them that prices do range from as low as, I don't even know if it could be lower than 45. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we'll have a discussion about this at Committee of the Whole in
Yeah,
terms of.
I'm just trying to get the right
No, I
information,
appreciate it.
head it in the right direction.
I appreciate it, and I think, you know, that difference of opinion has been noted, and I think we need to discuss it in, at Committee of the Whole, and we will do that. You'll have the opportunity to discuss
I
this
think that
further.
we should.
Yeah, we'll have a discussion.
I do, in a follow-up, because I can actually feel right now, and perhaps I'm the only one thinking this, but it is no more appropriate to provide details of their business model than it is for me to discuss sales at Sobeys. This is not the place.
I didn't go through the business model. I didn't go through, I'd take another half an hour to 45
appreciate
minutes.
it.
I made one small comment. I didn't go through their business model. I have no involvement in their business model. I'm not a partner, minor partner, or anything. I just made one little statement, hopefully to show people that there's more than just a blank statement out in the public. And we need all our businesses for people to know exactly. And this was something to do with a grooming place or our tattoo places, I would say the exact same thing. I stand up for our businesses, and I want them to have the very best opportunities here in Stratford. If I went in the line, then I'm sorry.
No, I think in fairness, it is something that we discussed in open council about the pricing for our town pickleball operation. So it is something that needs to be discussed, and hopefully we can look forward to the opening and all the community coming together and supporting both our program and the new program. We have different obvious target audiences or whatever. Our audiences are mainly towards beginners and people maybe that only want to do it on a recreational or very casual basis. And I know that there are other things with regard to the business, but no, and I appreciate, Councillor Chandler, your point that we shouldn't comment about individual businesses. But we will have a conversation about this, and we'll get it resolved, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor.
I'd like to congratulate the two, both of you there on the pickleball, with our own pickleball there in Stratford, how they worked out some of the bumps and bruises there, and it worked out. I think it's working out really, really good now, and compliments from a lot of pickleball players, so it's nice to see that.
Well, we had a lot of hard work done here by Rachel and Jeremy and other members of staff, and the program is fantastic here.
Yep.
By no means is this coincide with the Atlantic Pickleball Club. We're very proud of what we have done here, and there should be room for both entities here in Stratford.
Yeah, it's different programs for different target audiences. Okay, any other comments or questions on Councillor Cox's report? Okay. I know we did have a Heritage Committee meeting since your last report, and it was, I'm not sure if the minutes are out yet. Maybe we can get an update on that on the next month with regard to the Heritage. I think they only meet every 2 months, so hopefully we'll get a.
Mr. Mayor, that's under the planning section.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's coming up after finance here.
Oh, recreation, culture, and events, I was thinking.
To be
it was coming.
fair, we had discussed, I think, on an offhanded fashion, I think, at the last committee, the whole reconfiguring of heritage to perhaps fall under recreation, arts, and
That's
culture.
what-
But that would be for the next council to.
Thanks for clarifying that, Counselor, sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, any other comments or questions with regard to, okay. We'll now move on to finance and technology. And you'll note that Councillor Jody Jackson's not here tonight. And just myself, on behalf of the council and staff of the town and the residents of the town, want to express my condolences to the Jackson family and the Campbell family about the loss of of Jody's father-in-law and his wife Jillian's father, and Dylan's grandfather, Rob Campbell, a veteran, very valued member of our community, and really just our deepest condolences to the Jackson family and the Campbell family. And I understand, Councillor McDonald, that as vice chair, that you'll be presenting the finance report.
Yes, and I'm honored to do that on behalf of my very valued colleague and my good friend, Councillor Jackson. You know, Mr. Mayor, I do want to appreciate, I just, you know, as a person, as a resident of this community, I appreciate your condolences because, you know, Mr. Campbell's passing is a sad one for Councillor Jackson and his family, there's no doubt. And I know how much influence Mr. Campbell had on our good and valued colleague, Councillor Jackson, specifically his service as a veteran to this country. And I think that's certainly in Councillor Jackson's work here with this municipality. And we certainly, our thoughts are with Councillor Jackson, and our hopes are that they're doing as well as they can be given these difficult times. So with a somewhat heavy heart, I will certainly reflect this month's Finance Committee and Department's work. Certainly we are in the busiest time for the Finance Committee as it is budget season, and staff are diligently preparing documents for Council's deliberations, and it is with great thanks and appreciation that we receive those in the manner in which we do, and the information which is so always clearly presented, so that we can make the best decisions we can with these precious and finite resources. Our committee met, and it was a very productive committee meeting this month, I would say, and a lot of focus was spent on on the method and the manner of our budget presentation. And as usual, we received excellent feedback from our committee members in the form that we typically deliver the budget in. For instance, I'll just direct you to the minutes, specifically at page 2 of those minutes under item 5D, the budget process. And items were noted that the current document is not reader-friendly, that they would like something a little bit more high level, and then a separate state of the town address would be of use, and that the presentation ought to be more focused on the town's strategic priorities, and to provide not just, I think, a general overview, but very much are we rowing in the direction of the priorities of this municipality. And I think a lot of their points are very excellent ones, and I would certainly commend them to us as a council as we go through our budget deliberations, and to staff in the formation and creation of the budget presentation that will be public facing. So certainly a very productive meeting in that fashion. What I will focus on, and I don't want to hijack too much in the infrastructure committee report, but certainly on the utility side of things, certainly a very disappointing result of our funding applications through the MSC fund for 2 utility projects where funding was denied, and that despite the fact that I guess in 2025, there had been somewhat great fanfare and a lot of encouragement from provincial officials for this municipality and others to apply to this program for very much needed and valuable upgrades to our utility infrastructure in this municipality. I don't need to tell this council that it has been quite some time since we've had any major utility work undertaken within this jurisdiction, and it is very much needed. We have an aging system as it is, and considering the size of our municipality, considering our growth rates, it is frankly getting to the point of unacceptable that we have not a closed utility loop within this jurisdiction, such that we are servicing all of those in our municipality with our serviced, I guess, equipment. We work towards that, but there can be no doubt that with the size of our municipality, that we do require funding from our partners at the provincial and federal levels. And so I know that there is follow-up with our provincial officials and our provincial representatives as to why our projects were denied. And I certainly would impress upon our staff as well as us as a council to keep a united front on these matters, and to absolutely ensure that we are providing the most essential services that our municipality requires. And that includes absolutely our utility services, which are at this point getting long in the tooth. We always see the depreciation numbers, and we see the maintenance requirements, and we see, frankly, the sophistication of a modern utility system in terms of our staffing, and in terms of the software, and in terms of the reporting. And we're doing an admirable job. We're trying to keep our rates as low as they possibly can be, but we need that assistance, and not we as a council, just because it would be nice, it'd be a nice feather in our cap, but these are the absolute basics to provide clean drinking water of a sufficient quality for our residents who deserve that, as well as waste management. So that is the update from Finance and Technology. As now Chair of Planning, I will just move simply right into item number 12, Mr. Mayor, if that's okay.
Yeah, I just want to note that I did raise the issue that you mentioned with our MLA representatives, and they indicated that this will be revisited in March.
That's
So,
excellent.
as part
That's
of their
great
budget
news.
process.
Yeah,
So,
and I think, you know,
hopefully we'll get a positive result at that time.
thank you. And just with the current political climate within this province, I don't think I need a crystal ball to see that there will likely be a provincial election at some point in 2026, whenever that might be, as this newly elected leader of the current governing party does require a mandate from the public. And I would encourage each and every person within this municipality to absolutely make sure that it is an election issue, to understand, to impress upon those who seek office at the provincial level that this is something that's sorely needed in our community. Rinks are great, but we can't get very far if we don't have adequate drinking water, and we can't grow. And that's the other side of things, is that, and this will dovetail directly into planning, it dovetails into infrastructure. A lot of our open and vacant land towards the east end of our municipality is starved for development because it lacks the adequate utility infrastructure. Our municipal staff is making inroads and efforts as best they can to coordinate with developers to see if there's opportunities. But ultimately, these are huge ticket items beyond the realm and scope of our operating budget on a year-to-year basis. And we require more, and we deserve more. So let's all do a good job and a coordinated effort in speaking to our provincial officials. And I certainly appreciate you bringing that up, Mr. Mayor, with those provincial officials. That's it for me. And subject to any questions from you honorable members about the Finance and Technology report.
Yeah, I think the financial statements are in your package, the income statement and the utility income statements as well, so.
And I'm kind of overpaid and underqualified to speak to the financial statements, but our director is here, and she can speak to those if anybody has any questions.
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, I guess just a note on the budget process, we will be having further budget meetings with staff and council starting, I believe there's one tomorrow, and then there will be a public presentation of a draft budget in early March. And at that time, the public will have 2 weeks to comment and to provide input to that document. And then we'll be finalizing it prior to the end of March at our special council meeting. Yeah. Thank you for your
Thank you.
report, Councillor. Thanks for
Yes.
filling in on short notice. Appreciate it.
And it's certainly my honor to do that, as I noted, and certainly our thoughts are with Councillor Jackson and his family.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess that's, you got the next one as well, as Chair of Planning, Development, Heritage Committee.
Yes.
I'll ask you to give that report as well.
And as a very late Christmas present to you all, I have no resolutions for you for planning, development, and heritage. As you will note, I think from our monthly building permit summary, not just for this month, but for January 2025, typically, and this is somewhat not uncommon, I would suggest, for any municipality with the first month of the year, it's somewhat quiet for development applications. So it's a very modest amount, I would suggest $82,000. We were buttressed last January 2025 with a fairly significant commercial development budget. And so a very modest month for planning, development, and heritage, but be that as it may, certainly they are very, very busy under the radar with our official plan, zoning development bylaw review, as well as a short-term rental file, which continues to make progress, though not quite at the point where it's ready for that next step. But certainly their planning staff's efforts are recognized and certainly very much appreciated.
Thank you. Any comments or questions on the
Well, and I'll just note,
Oh.
Mr. Mayor, as you had inquired as to Councillor Cox, the heritage minutes are there for your review. I would just indicate that through the efforts of Alex O'Hara, who is the vice chair of Heritage, we had an invited guest, Ms. Sarah Bowman, who's the provincial heritage officer. She was in to provide a very excellent presentation, and I would certainly hope that we can get her back at Heritage on a semi-frequent basis, because it was yeah, it was just it was a very interesting presentation, and I would say much more happening in the heritage I guess field than I would have appreciated and understood at the provincial level. It was great having her, and it was great always having somebody who has a level of expertise and passion for their profession. So that was wonderful.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any comments or questions on the Planning and Heritage Report? If not, thanks for your report, Councillor.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll now move to Infrastructure. I'll ask the Chair of that committee, Deputy Mayor Gallant, to give his report.
Yes, well, thank you, Worship. Before I start this, I want to send my condolences out to the Stewart family, Ray Stewart. Just sent Ray passed away there in January, so they were great. Ray was a great volunteer at the Pond Rink and so on, and Skip, I got his nickname was Skip, and then I seen him at Pond Rink and volunteer many hours, and any public meeting in the town of Stratford, Ray and Jacinta would attend the meeting, so my condolences go out to the Stewart family at this time.
Yeah, I want to echo those remarks. I neglected to do that as well, so
Okay.
so thank you. I was at the wake, and you got a lovely family, and it's
Oh,
really
yes.
really sad to lose Ray there. He was a great member of the committee, great member of the community.
Oh, yeah.
So really sorry that he's gone.
Great guy, and great, always positive.
Yeah,
Yep.
and he was he was a member of our Heritage Committee
Oh,
at
okay.
the time of his passing. We had a moment for him there, so I do appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Deputy, you bringing that up, though. He was certainly a valuable member of this committee, of that committee, as well as the municipality, so thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, the February, our infrastructure department staff continued to work with consultants and several water and sewer and active transportation projects to get tender-ready packages completed. Staff are also coordinating with this with the contractor on the design build package for the waterfront pavilion project. Work is underway when weather permits, and the backup generators being installed at several sewer lift station sites. Sewer lining and rehabilitation work has been completed in the Heron Drive area. Once again, this year, all went well, and the method of work continues to be very effective and efficient means of renewing the sewer main infrastructure. Infrastructure is busy this month. Last month, meaning in January, winter maintenance and grooming of trails. Great comments from residents and people in the town of Stratford. Snow clearing, salting the walkways and parking lots ongoing. Flooding and maintenance of rinks. They're keeping the rinks up to date. I mean, they're looking after them, and there's, I know Bunbury Rink's been pretty active for this last couple of weeks anyway, and the pond side itself. Managing the sump pump redirection program, although not as active as we'd like to see, but we have requested extension of the program until September to allow additional installations to take place. Development of 26-27 work plans and budgets, replacing heat pump and AU filters, serving and water softeners in the town facilities, organize utility buildings and storage areas, following up on water meter maintenance and identifying monthly reading, water and sewer inspections, meter installations, water turn-ons for new development are ongoing, daily inspection, maintenance of water sewer systems of facilities, and managing ongoing customer and resident inquiries and concerns. There was no sewer water facilities related to emergencies during the month of January. There are 2 locations reported on water running or flowing outside their dwelling. Both locations were found to have frozen or burst pipes, needed a repair by the property owners, and water was turned off until the repairs were completed. And that's my report for the end of for the month of January, Your Worship.
Thank you for your report, Deputy Mayor. Any comments or questions on Deputy Mayor's report? Okay, thank you. Thanks for your report. Okay, We'll move on to Committee of the Whole. No outstanding issues there. Sustainability, I'll ask Councillor Jill Chandler, Chair of that committee, to give her report.
Okay, when it comes to sustainability, we don't actually have a report. The minutes from the January 12th meeting are in there, but I believe we touched on those points in our January council meeting already. So they're there for review if you'd like. The transit report and information is in your package. Ridership beginning in 2026 is lower than we'd like to see it. On a positive, we do have updated statistics in regards to ridership, which is great. I think that perhaps there's an opportunity to investigate those a little bit more so we can understand where the ridership, it's still a little bit confusing, but maybe the CEO understands it better than I do. So yeah, we can have a look at that possibly at a committee of the whole meeting down the road. And that pretty much sums up the sustainability.
Thank you. Congratulations on a great business mixer and on all the work that's being done with regard to the business survey and PEI connectors and all the things that are being done to connect businesses, as well as the successful application for funding for a feasibility study for net zero for the community campus. I think that's a great step forward. And so on both the environmental and on the business support fronts, I think, the town is doing very well. And I really like those, I think Stratford advertisements that are on the radio. I think they really have a very positive impact for our town. And I see CEO Crosby is going to say a few words.
I was just going to add to the sustainability file that staff have been working on getting funding for a tree planting and preservation bylaw, so they're working hard on that, and I think that funding is going to come through. So I know there's been a lot of talk around the council table with regard to developments and having appropriate trees or trying to preserve the trees on the building lots as we go along. So we will have a bylaw for you guys to review here in the next little while. So just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I really look forward to that. I think that's something that other municipalities have done where when developers remove trees that they're obligated to replace them, or replant either in another location or hopefully close to the current location. Obviously, we don't want to create barriers for development, but we also want to make sure we protect, the natural look of our community.
I did just want to add, just in follow-up to the things that you had already said, but the business mixer that we hosted, it was well attended, and those that were here, there were some real networking opportunities, and I hope that our facilitated discussion with business members next week will provide some really great insights. On an aside, I attended the Greater Charlottetown Chamber of Commerce dinner that was already mentioned, and congratulations to Wendell Taylor Garage recipients and others that were there. We had the opportunity to speak to lots of different people when we were there, but I thought there were some really great insights, which is what got me even more excited to have these conversations with the business community. In some of the chats I had, people were able to point out some of the challenges they have surrounding housing for their staff, access to transportation, et cetera, like that. So when we can have those conversations and find out some of the barriers they have in their business operations, we have real lived experience in which we can act on. So I'm looking forward to the facilitated discussion, and I hope that we have a great turnout.
Thank you. Thank you. As I said at the business mixer, we are spending tax money from these businesses, and we want to make sure we have their input in terms of how we spend it most effectively. That's going to help them the most.
Absolutely. And I do think as we continue to engage, it would also be an opportunity to engage with people who are in business but who aren't in business in Stratford yet, to find out what would bring them here, or what the challenges they have. It would be actually very insightful. And I think our event, I think we actually did attract some folks that were in business. So, yeah, I would love to continue to work with staff to engage and maintain and even expand on what we're doing.
And with regards to transit, there was quite a long piece in the paper, in the newspaper, Guardian this morning, talking about across industry-wide, because of the immigration cutbacks and other things, that the student numbers are down. So predominantly, it's, students are usually very, very high users of transit. And so if those numbers are down, then the numbers industry-wide are down.
Yes, and we've had those conversations because I do think, and prior to that, there was speculation about the demographics of the ridership, but I think we can speculate, and with the information as in the Guardian this morning, that we are seeing infrastructure greatly impacted by the change in immigration policies.
Yep.
Transit ridership is one of them, programs at post-secondary, et cetera, housing, vacancies, all of it is very tied together. But I think it's really important as we make decisions going forward on transit and other matters that we know these facts, because if those students aren't there and they are the bulk of the ridership or in whatever infrastructure, we need to attract new riders, I guess, would be the bottom line.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to compliment both you, Wendy, on the mixer itself. I also compliment the councillors for going door to door, taking different areas to push this forward, and I'm all about bringing new business to Stratford, and I'm all about open that door. I'm all about shopping in Stratford, shop only in Stratford. I'll support the small businesses, stuff like that, new ideas. I'm all putting ideas together and having the mixer and bringing those ideas and your ideas from Wendy and yourself and stuff like that. And it's very positive. It's and people shop Stratford, right? Shop in Stratford, the most we can do. And the mixer was great, fantastic. It's just talked to a lot of people there, a lot of people interested to know the way the town is growing and so on. So it was overall it was great. It was really complimented you and Wendy and putting those things together, and councillors from taking those packages and going, and taking 20 or 30 businesses. And I tell you, I really enjoyed it, talking to owners and operators and talking about how can we help them, and they were surprised that we're even out doing this stuff, and then they were just, I attended the chamber, the dinner that night, and so much pride in small businesses and so on, and they work really hard, and day in and day out, baking at 4 o'clock in the morning, and stirring up and stuff. It was a lot of hard work just to keep her even now, and with all the other stuff going on now with the tariffs and stuff like that, and shop Canadian only and everything else. So it's great that we're putting this stuff together and moving forward. I mean, our next meeting February 19th, and I look forward to seeing that too, and having them have a voice. And I know Steve, the mayor, spoke well at the mixer. Our member, Jill Berry, spoke well. She talked about how we're growing and in the business in Stratford, so it was nice. Overall, it was really nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
And thank you to you, Deputy Mayor. There was some overlap in our business visits, but as a result, I had feedback as to how you had been there and how memorable you were, and that the deputy mayor had been here already. So you left a lasting impression, and those relationships are important because you have met people that you may not have known before, and they would feel they can reach out to us and that we're listening, which we are.
I just hopefully just keep following up on it, keep going with what we're doing right now. Keep the train running.
We're doing it.
Keep pushing that way, yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. I just want to, before we leave the sustainability file, I want to mention that at the Excellence in Business Awards night gala put on by the Greater Charlottetown Chamber of Commerce, a Stratford resident, I really, was really honored. Blair McLaughlin and his wife Donna, the whole McLaughlin family have been really invaluable in terms of their contributions to Stratford, to the island and the country, really. I mean, they're, for a, an entrepreneur to start with a, small, a few pieces of equipment and turn it into a regional powerhouse in terms of contracting a company able to do major engineering projects. I think it's quite a thing. So I think Blair McLaughlin deserves all the credit we can give him, and we're really proud of him. So really glad to have Blair, his wife Donna, and Eric, and the whole family in the community, because they contribute a lot to our community. Thanks for your report, Councillor.
My pleasure.
Okay, we'll move on to intergovernmental affairs and accountability, and I guess that's yours as well, Councillor Chandler.
Yes, okay. Just some quick updates from our last committee meeting. We had some verbal updates on the transit agreement, official plan and zoning development bylaws, et cetera. The staff are beginning to collect, or I guess the key performance indicators data, and they'll be updating the website once all the information is collected, and the previous data can be viewed anytime. You had already spoken to meetings with our Member of Parliament, Kent MacDonald, and Emily's Burge and Redmond. The committee, in our last meeting, which was a really interesting conversation, and I think it's worth bringing up here, that committee members kind of contributed their ideas about some ways that we could attract new representatives to run for council, and how we could reach more people and get the message out about the opportunity and the wonderful learning experiences and all of those things, in particular to attract and interest a broader demographic, and hopefully make it inviting for more diverse candidates to run in future elections. And I know that you would support that as well. So that's something that you may be even tasked with. We may come to you and ask you for your own experience and how you'd encourage others to run, and hopefully be willing to do that. We also discussed some of our engagement statistics, and that's our social media usage. And interestingly, the Transgender Day of Remembrance post on Facebook, which initially had some negative and inappropriate and hateful comments even on that post, generated the most engagement in 2025. And that in itself, that post is actually quite a good news story, in that the town posted in regards to this day and charted, as opposed to letting the negative voices and comments overrule the positive sentiment. That post got shared and picked up, and media and et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of attention came as a result of the town's commitment to supporting diversity. So congrats to the town staff on that post. Additionally, as I'm sure you are aware, some of the arts and culture initiatives that generated so much interest were also high performing. So the Poppy Project, the mural, et cetera, had thousands and thousands. How many, Wendy? Let's see if I can find the actual number. I don't necessarily have it. Anyway, in closing, the town's social media platform outperformed the year before, and we had a lot more engagement and shares and videos. So I think that we are seeing, although I don't have all of the stats, that we, as a result of all kinds of initiatives, including the draft plan and various things we've done, we are seeing a higher level of engagement than we had in the previous year.
That's good news.
I think in the end, it was over 14,000 poppies collected.
Yeah, that's incredible. Considering their initial target was 4,000, I
Yeah,
think, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah. Just a note on the election engagement people. I think it's not only people running. I think we've got a really great council here, and you know, I think any one of number around the council, you're all really valuable members of council in your own right, the perspectives that you bring to council. But I think one of the emphases that I'd like to see would be more involvement and engagement by young people and by newcomers and people from, you know, who aren't represented right now on council, you know, that I think those voices need to be heard, and anything we can do to encourage those people to get involved, whether it's running or whether it's just, you know, working for a candidate or getting their voices heard, getting their people in their demographic or their community or whatever involved and interested, because I think the two greatest threats we have to our democracy is our apathy and cynicism, you know, negativity. That those two things can, you know, I think we see what's happening in other jurisdictions, you know, and the toxicity that can result from people being apathetic and being negative and cynical. So, yeah, so I think that any efforts we can do to really get people involved in the political process would be time well spent. So I encourage you all to do that. Okay, thank you for your report, Councillor.
And just in my encouraging others to get interested and active, in no means, I do think that everyone who's participating in council is wonderful and has very unique and perspectives and brings a lot to the table. But as the only female on your council, I do want to reiterate that it is important that a council would have a fuller representation, or more accurately represent its residents. So I know, I'm encouraging that. I know others are too. So
Yeah.
I got to close on that.
Get them to run, yeah. Okay.
I just got a question here, Your Worship. Speaking of being a counselor, Jeremy, can you give some of our people the official plan where we're at, the zoning developed by law? So our viewers, so people are asking me where we're at and some of our roles as a counselor.
Maybe, if you don't mind, Deputy Mayor, maybe we can move that. We can thank Councillor Chandler for her report, and we can move to the next item on the agenda, which is inquiries by members of council. So we're now on item 17.
Yeah, just so we're where we're at right now, that's all, Jeremy.
Yeah, sure. As we know, we had various public meetings before Christmas, and we did the first draft that was presented, and staff and council have been working diligently on the second draft.
Yep.
There's been a lot of discussion, and really taking the feedback from residents and stakeholders into play with regard to the second draft. I know that council are going to be passing in their ideas on the second draft and the map that we handed out there about a week and a half ago. So there'll be follow-up meetings coming up here very shortly, and I think probably within the next month or so we will have a follow-up public meeting to present a second draft and get more feedback. And if there's additional changes after that, we will certainly look at that. But I think we are getting closer. I think that most residents will see a significant change from the first draft, and I think it's all good information. So looking forward to getting that next set of meetings set up and moving forward.
Thank you for those comments.
Just if I could, Jeremy and Deputy Mayor, I think one thing we all agree on is that we're going to take the time necessary to make sure that it meets the approval and we can get a consensus, community-wide consensus on acceptance of the report, of the plan.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
I just wanted to throw it out there and just for people to hear it, and so where we're at, you know,
Yep.
that's all it was, just the process so far, where we're at in the process.
Okay. Any other inquiries by any member of council around anything around the town? Okay, if not, will go to other committees. Stratford Seniors Complex, so I'll ask Deputy Mayor Gallant to report. He chairs that committee.
Yes, Your Worship, thank you. Staff are meeting with the IT staff to prepare installation of security cameras within the building and the outdoor area. That's just moving forward for 2026. Repairs were done to exterior light fixtures. McDermott's have been in to repair a few McDermott's, a few stoves and a dryer. 2026 budgets have been approved by CMHC. Staff are contacting people on the waiting list to arrange a viewing of a vacant unit in the building. Staff have been communicating with parking lot and walkway snow contractors over time in the snow clearing, which is working out really, really well. And staff and management committee are reviewing the management committee policy for potential updates. And right now, there's 37 people currently on the waiting list. So, yeah, overall, everything's working well, and just with the repairs done and so on, and with the contractor there, with the workers there, with the snow removal and everything else, and the walkways, so it's working out really, really well. Any questions?
I've got a question. So how many people are in the senior complex right now?
16.
16. So you have
16 to 32 people.
you have over twice the amount
Yeah.
waiting. Be nice to know, like, you know, if we build a seniors complex, you know, what the revenue coming in would be compared to the cost of building such a facility and maintaining it and running it. That building a new facility, would it come close to, maybe not in the first year or second year, but would it come close to being feasible financially for the town? Because it's come to a point now. I remember maybe a year ago it was at about 24 people, and now it's at 37, and that list is just going to grow. I just wondered what are our short-term, long-term plans with that?
Yeah. Like, we're currently ready, we're contacting people on the waiting list to arrange for viewing of the vacant building. I know we always have concerns about, we're always looking for something low income, and we talked about it the other budget meeting. We talked about business park and so on. I mean, you're going to have to look at free land to establish another one of these buildings, and we have other properties on the highway there. So, you know, it's just one of those things. We talk about it. If we want to go ahead, we've got to prepare in the budget. So, and take it from there. And I don't know if we can do it with the budget we have. There's very few dollars, right?
I know there is land that we've looked at on the Trans-Canada Highway that would be an excellent place to have it, you know. I'm just curious about, you know, we've been talking about this. We've been in it 3.5 years, you know, as councillors are in 3 years, and just seems we keep talking, but I just, you know, be nice to know, you know, the long-term, short-term for that, but hopefully it's more short-term than long-term.
Yeah.
Before we get an answer, so.
Yeah. Well, there's people there with low income that don't just have CBP and OAS. They don't have a pension plan. And if you don't have a pension plan, it's pretty tough. And that's what we look at with low income here.
Yeah.
And it's the needs there, and it'd be a win-win-win if it happens. You know.
Well, I know, Councillor Glant, that it does hinge a lot on what the provincial government, federal government money towards that, and especially provincial, and their lack of redefining the word affordability. I think once they learn to find a better definition of that, that would certainly help us. And but we really, it's not something that we could just take on by ourselves. We have to have other partners, but it is something that's really needed, and there is an older component to Stratford, and they do need to be looked after, so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for noting that, Councillor. Okay, any other comments or questions on the seniors complex report?
No, but just the comment in numbers, and Kim and I always discuss this, and it's just, you go through people are on the waiting list, and maybe the top 10, and the top 10 doesn't want to be there. They're going to community homes or going to other places. So the number might look large, but it's, you know, it's small compared to, you know, the people, like Kim might go through 20 spots there for 37 there, right? And so to establish a person that wants it right now, right? So I learned from that and being on the committee, you know, the number always looks a little high, but I mean, going through it all, and some people have other arrangements made before they come to this and then decide yes or no, they're coming to the seniors place. So that's where we're at right now.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on. I guess we got a couple of resolutions here, appointments to the committees. And there's a resolution here for an appointment of directors to the Crossroads Rural Community Fire Company. I'll ask the chair of the Safety Services Committee, Councillor Ron Dowling, to move that resolution.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Town of Stratford Resolution SS 001-2026, appointment of directors to the Crossroads Rural Community Fire Company, February 11, 2026, moved by myself. Whereas the Town of Stratford has the right and responsibility to appoint 7 members of the Board of Directors of the Crossroads Rural Community Fire Company, and whereas it is desirable to have new persons appointed each year to represent the town on the fire company board, be it resolved that the following persons be appointed to serve on the Board of Directors of the Crossroads Rural Community Fire Company for the year 2026. A town representative, myself, Councillor Ron Dowling, community representatives Carol Ann Duffy, Lee Jenkins, Rick Richard, Bernadette Milner, Dave Swan, and Neil Webster. And I'll just add, Your Worship, Neil Webster is a new addition to the list.
Okay, any comments or discussion on the numbers, on the names? If not, I'll ask for a seconder.
Jeff?
Thank you.
Oh, second, yeah.
No discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we have another resolution, both for the Planning or Heritage Committee and for the Finance and Technology Committee. And I'll ask the Chair of the Planning and Heritage Subcommittee, Councillor Jeff McDonald, to move this resolution.
Yes, certainly, Mr. Mayor. It is Resolution CW001-2026, committee member appointments. It comes from the Committee of the Whole, but it focuses on finance as well as heritage. The contents of the resolution are that whereas Council has established a number of standing committees and subcommittees in the Council procedural bylaw number 47, to advise and assist Council in its deliberations. Whereas the bylaw provides for the appointment of residents and stakeholders by Council to provide public input to Council in its deliberations. Be it resolved that the following residents be appointed to the respective standing committees and subcommittees for the remainder of a 2-year term ending on November 30th, 2026 as follows. For Finance and Technology Committee, Josh Kelly, and for Heritage Subcommittee, Kerry Morris and Don Scott.
Okay, do I have a seconder?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay,
Oh, sorry. I guess I
Joe Chandler.
saw Jill, Councillor Chandler first.
Ladies first.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Motion carried. Okay, there are no proclamations. Any other business anyone would like to raise at this time? If not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll move.
We're now adjourned.